Hello everybody, and welcome to my tutorial on how to speedrun Firebase Z in the build percent category. This guide is made for people who are new to speedrunning or are curious about how the speedrun is done. I'll be going over everything you need to know from what you need before you start, small movement optimizations, and what to look out for in-game so you can complete more runs. Starting out, let's look at what loadout you should be using to give you the best edge when playing. The two guns I would recommend are the M16 and the Gallo. For the M16, I recommend the VisionTech 2x scope, SOCOM Eliminator muzzle, 20.5-inch Task Force barrel, Ember sighting point, Field Agent foregrip, 54 round fast mag, airborne elastic wrap, and the Raider pad. And for the Gallo, the SOCOM Blast Mitigator muzzle, 24.8-inch Task Force barrel, Ember sighting point, Stanag 12 round tube, and the Marathon stock. I would also recommend making two classes with the same weapon, but one with Aether Shroud and the other with Ring of Fire. Next, let's take a look at what your skills should be at to give you the best chance at a good run. Starting from the top, upgrade your shotguns or tactical rifles to tier 5 depending on what you want to use, as well as having a melee upgraded to tier 4 for the extra damage. For field upgrades, you need Aether Shroud tier 5 and a minimum tier 3 Ring of Fire so ammo comes out of the reserves instead of the magazine. This will help us with the boss fight. For perks, Stamina up tier 5 and Deadshot Daiquiri tier 5. I say this because Deadshot will help with damage on the boss if you can afford it. No need to worry about ammo mods because we won't be using them. Next, we'll go over some movement techniques to save small amounts of time throughout the run. First is run resetting. This is accomplished by sprinting from a standstill, then when the sprint out speed falls off, quickly let off your forward movement, then run again to use the sprint out speed. Because of tier 5 stamina, you only have to use this when you don't have it at the beginning. Next is ledge sliding. Most people know how to do this, but to ledge slide, you jump near a rail and hold crouch, so once you land on the rail, you immediately slide, gaining more distance instead of mantling. Last one we'll go over is Aether Shroud jumping. If there is a playable area through a wall, you can use Aether Shroud to jump through the wall into that playable area. Some jumps are harder than others, but practicing them will make it easier. Now that we've gone over everything you need to know before you start the game, I'll talk over my gameplay and point out certain things to watch out for, explain other things, and make sure you understand what I'm doing and why I'm doing that. Starting out for round 1, every time you play the map, these zombies always spawn in the same place every time. One behind you, one in the open window, one across from that zombie in the boarded window, one at the top of the stairs, one in the window at the bottom of the stairs, and the last one below the teleporter. It is important to get 5 out of the 6 headshots on round 1 because you won't have enough points to open the first door after going prone on quick revive to get the extra 100 points. When you're running up to the teleporter, be sure to run reset to go faster because if you don't get there fast enough, the zombies on the helipad will have delayed spawns causing you to lose time. For rounds 2 and 3, you want to kill zombies as fast as you can because nothing significant happens in these rounds, and the faster you get through them, the better. I like to stand on these boxes with my M16 because I can get good angles on all the zombie spawns except for one. If I'm using the Gallo, I'll stand by the broken tank next to the teleporter to kill zombies as they spawn outside of the map because they're the slowest zombies to spawn and it will help your time to kill them first. It's a bit of a guessing game on where zombies will spawn, but use your best judgment on where zombies are and to get through these 2 rounds faster. For round 4 and the first Aether Reactor, don't start it right away. Instead, kill 6 zombies before you start the Aether Reactor. The reason you want to do this is so when you kill the last zombie to fill up the Aether Reactor, this will also end the round, allowing you to start the second Aether Reactor in the data center on round 5. The fastest way to the second Aether Reactor is through the back door and around toward the medical area. Once you get there, you can ledge slide off this rail and down to where you can start the Aether Reactor. Kill only the 12 necessary to fill up the Aether Reactor, because once it completes and you run to the third Aether Reactor, there will be 12 more zombies in the round, so you can fill up the last Aether Reactor and flip to round 6 once it's complete. Be sure when you're running from the second reactor to the third reactor that you pick up the blueprints for the Ray K on the wall so you don't lose any time trying to get it later. Once you complete the third Aether Reactor, start running up to the connecting building from Military Command to Mission Control and Aether Shroud jump through the window and run back to the teleporter. Run to the upper part of the apartments in the village to activate Pack-a-Punch. After this, you want to run as fast as you can back up to Peck to start the next dialogue about Maxis. You can go prone above Peck at this spot to talk to him, saving you the time it would take to jump down, talk to him, and run back up. After this, you want to go to Ravenov and wait for him to start talking. He has 2 sets of dialogue, and you can talk to him as soon as the second dialogue starts to start Ravenov's next dialogue, saving some time. During the time when Ravenov is talking, this is when you would want to buy stamina up at the Wonder Fizz, and if you're using the M16, I would recommend upgrading it to the common tier at the Armor Buddy to help with a later step. If you don't have enough scrap to upgrade it now, don't worry about it, because we can do it during a later step without losing any time. If you're using the Gallo, don't worry about upgrading it unless you want to. Once Ravenov finishes his dialogue, kill the last zombie of round 6 and pick up the keycard and run to the first cabinet. You can't immediately open the first cabinet until the second narrator starts their dialogue about the truth serum, so don't worry about that. But once you grab the first serum, take the stairs to the teleporter, and once you get through, run to the second serum near the generator below mission control, and once you grab that, you can take the stairs I do, or go around outside however you please, and head to the Colonel's office for the third serum. Make sure you have Aether Shroud ready for this part, because we're going to be performing the same Aether Shroud jump again, but instead, we'll be opening a door and putting the serums into the machine to get the aerosol. While waiting for the serums to mix, this is also another opportunity to upgrade your M16 at the Armor Buddy in the barracks if you haven't already. There's another point later to do it again if you can't upgrade it here. Once you pick it up, run back to the helipad and over to mission control, mantling over the stairs like I do or just straight up the side of the building to place the aerosol. We're going to be using that time the Peck is talking to grab the shovel and Kate the eye from the scientist in the scorched defense area. Once you have the eye, kill as many zombies as you can as quickly as you can while you're waiting for Peck to start his fantasy dialogue. We want 1 zombie left if possible, so when we start getting the code for the dartboard, we don't have to deal with too many zombies, as well as being able to instantly flip the round when trapping the mimics. If you're unable to kill all but one of the zombies like I did, it's not a big deal, you just have to be careful of the zombies when trying to get the dartboard code. Be sure to position yourself close to Peck, so when he says the lines about the necklace, you can start the next set of dialogue faster. Once you interact with Peck, take the launch pad outside mission control to the data center and run over to the computer to insert the eye. This will also be the last opportunity to upgrade your M16 if you haven't already. I would recommend having stuns or decoys to distract the zombies so you don't die when trying to get the code and the keys. I'll have a dartboard on screen so you can see my code and how I got it. One thing to note is on screen, the colors alternate black and white, so if you have trouble identifying what number you have, you can use the color of the dartboard to help find the correct number. Once you have the keys and the code, make sure you have 1 zombie left at this point and wait by the memory transference station to pick up the traps. There is a small delay from when Peck finishes talking to when you can pick up the traps, so keep that in mind. Now, we'll be going over mimic spawns, what to look out for, what mimic spawns I like in my games, and what happened in my game. Mimics spawn on the map once you pick up one of the traps, and they will spawn in one of 3 areas randomly. The 3 areas are the motor pool, military command, and spawn. You'll know which area the mimic is in because different from other mimics, there will be multiple equipment drops very close to each other, and the drops will only be next to the mimic in one of those areas. When you find the area the mimic is in, be careful because regular mimics can spawn in that area along with the mimic you need, so be cautious of which mimic is the one you need. For my route, the best mimic spawns are to have the first mimic spawn in the motor pool because it's the closest to the data center and I can put the mimic into the memory transference station and flip the round faster. The second mimic spawn in the village, so that way I can capture the mimic, input the dartboard combo and get the Reiki part, and kill all the zombies as fast as possible. Then, I want to have the third mimic spawn in military command so I can return to the data center as fast as possible to get the disc. The first spawn I got in my game was in the village. I could have entered the dartboard combo here, but I would have lost time, so I decided to capture the mimic and kill the last zombie. The round doesn't flip because the mimic is now the last enemy on the map instead of the zombie. The next spawn I got was in Military Command. It's always good to stay in the area where you find the second mimic to kill all the zombies so you don't have to worry about zombies spawning in weird places or delayed spawns. The last spawn I got was in the motor pool, which is good for getting back to the data center quickly. One thing to keep in mind is because of the tier 4 melee, the first and second mimics only require 4 knives to be captured, while the third requires 5 knives. Once you get all the mimics into the memory transference station, you will be on round 9. Grab another trap, run to the lockers in the barracks to spawn the mimic with the Ray K part, and kill as many zombies as you can while you wait for the disc to come out of the machine. Once it comes out and you grab it, run to the launch pad that takes you to mission control, and instead of using it, run just past it, aiming towards the barracks below you, and Aether Shroud jump into the barracks. From there, run through the helipad up to mission control to put the disc into the computer, and wait by the OPC for it to open and start the next set of dialogue. While this dialogue is happening, kill a mimic to see if you get the part. If you don't get it, there's another time to get it later. Talk to Peck when Weaver finishes talking, and continue to kill as many zombies as you can until you flip the round to round 10. Once you flip the round, pause your game and your timer, and switch over to the Ring of Fire class. When Ravenov gives you the code to the locker and you pick up the ether meter, run to the jump pad that takes you to Military Command and take it. Once you land over there, run to the canister located in Rocky Defense and activate it. When the first Mangler spawns, wait for him to walk further into the lockdown area before shooting his arm off. Once you kill him, pick up the last part for the Ray K and finish the lockdown. Be sure not to kill the last zombie of round 10. First, place a magazine into the charger next to the motor pool, then kill the last zombie. Once you kill the last zombie, run up to the Aether Reactor at Military Command and put the canister in, and then continue toward mission control to the next canister. Once you find the next canister, this is the other time to activate the lockers to get the mimic with the other Ray K part if you didn't get it earlier. Once you get the part and the second canister, end the round as fast as you can and head back towards the motor pool to pick up the magazine, then build the Ray K at the bench next to where you got the dart code. Once it's built, run up to the data center and put the second canister into the Aether Reactor, and run up the stairs and down to where the third canister is located. Dig up the third canister and quickly shoot your grenade launcher to keep the canister from moving and pick it up. Once you grab it, go around the backside of mission control and inside to place the third canister, then run up to the OPC. Once the long dialogue starts about Peck deceiving you, take this time to pack a punch your Ray K and get dead shot if you have the points, and build a cruise missile. You'll also want to trap a zombie with the trap you picked up earlier to make the next step easier. With the last zombie trapped, head to the computer and mission control to align the satellites. Once you find which satellite you need, activate it and wait by the OPC to activate it and start the cutscene. Once you enter the boss fight, move yourself to the left side of the truck like I do, activate Ring of Fire, use your cruise missile, then shoot the boss in the crit spot, and just like that, you have successfully completed a speedrun of Firebase Z. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed it, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and sharing this video with a friend. As well, consider following me on Twitch and joining my Discord. All the links will be below in the description. Thank you again, and have a wonderful day.